Hi and welcome back to Rideshare Buddy UK. My name's Kevin, and today, because I'm moving into an EV from a hybrid, I'm going to be looking at the costs involved on fuel. So how does the cost per mile compare in an EV and the different suppliers compared to the cost per mile of using a petrol in a hybrid? Because it's going to be a big difference, and it's going to be important as to whether or not I can actually make a profit, because fuel costs are one of the biggest expenses you're going to have behind the purchase of the car and also the insurance, which I'll come to on another video. But this one is purely about fuel costs. Okay, so let's have a look at the fuel cost per mile of what's happening at the moment with the Ioniq Hybrid. Now, I'm paying 146 pence per litre, and I'm getting 66 miles to the gallon. So what does that work out at per mile basis? Well, there's 4.54 litres in a gallon. So let's work out my price per gallon. 1.46 per litre times by 4.54, which means I'm paying £6.62 per gallon. That's at Tesco's, the local Tesco's. Get a little bit cheaper than at Sainsbury's, but there's only a penny or so in it. So 6.62 divided by 66 to the gallon. So it's costing me 10 pence, 10.04 pence per mile in my hybrid Ioniq at 146 per litre. So I'm moving from the Ioniq to an Ioniq 5 EV. Now the Ioniq 5 is a much bigger car, so you've got to take that into account. So if it was a petrol car, it would use more fuel than the Ioniq Hybrid. But from what I can work out, you should be able to do about 3.2 to 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour at motorway speeds. So I'm going to target hitting 3 miles per kilowatt hour, or 3 miles per kilowatt, I think it is, at motorway speeds, because most of my work is going to be on motorways doing airport runs. If I can get more than that, excellent. If I start dropping below 3, I'm going to have problems with my fuel efficiency. So let's have a look at the cost per mile of the EV at various suppliers, and we'll start with 3 suppliers that I'm going to be mainly using before we look at some of the other suppliers which are way too expensive and who don't have subscription models, get discounts or anything like that. So you go and pay top whack and it will wipe out my profit completely. So let's start with Tesla, which is going to be my main supplier. So my main Tesla charger superstation is at Celtic Manor Resort, which is about 5 to 10 minutes drive away, so fairly local. And they have 2 pricing: peak time. Peak time is between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m, and that's at 43p per kilowatt hour. Off peak time, any time outside that, which is probably what I'm going to be going for, it's 34p per kilowatt hour. So let's look at that on a price per mile basis. So peak time, 43p divided by 3. Is 14, so that will be 14.33p per mile. So about 4p a mile higher, or 40% higher than the hybrid. But as I say, the Ioniq 5 is a bigger car. If that was a petrol hybrid, it would be more expensive to run than the smaller Ioniq. So 14.3 at peak time rates. Now at off-peak rates, which is where I'll generally be heading for, that's at 34p a kilowatt hour. We divide that by 3, and that gives me 11.33p per mile. So only slightly above, about 10% above the current cost of the Ioniq. So that's not a bad price. I'm going to have pretty much the same sort of fuel costs running the Ioniq 5 as I am at the moment running the Ioniq Hybrid. But that's only at Tesla off-peak, and Tesla is the cheapest supercharger around. I don't have home charging, don't have street charging. Newport has very few street chargers, and what street chargers they do have are over 50p kilowatt hour, so way more expensive than the Tesla charger. So that's it. That's my number one go-to place for charging. Good network all around the UK. I can't get access to all of the Tesla chargers because some of them are reserved only for Tesla owners, but I'm happy at 11.33p a mile, 1.3p a mile more than the Ioniq Hybrid. So let's move on to number two. Oh, I have to pay $8.99 a month to get access to that network. $8.99 a month is not a great deal. It's less than a penny a mile on top of that. If I'm doing 1,000 miles a week, doing the maths, it's a fraction of a penny. So makes no difference to the actual cost. So that's number one, Tesla. So now let's look at BP. Now, as an Uber driver, you get free access subscription to the cut price rates, which is really useful. And if you use more than 300 kilowatt hours per month, and that's basically 900 miles a month, and I do over 1,000 a week, so I'll hit that high target. You also get an additional discount exclusively for Uber drivers. But let's look at the three options there with BP Pulse. If there was no BP Pulse membership, the current rate, this is 150 kilowatt hour chargers. Normal price is 83p a kilowatt hour. So let's divide that out by 3 to get our price per mile. I mean, this is not what I'm going to be paying because as an Uber driver, you get your free subscription. But anyway, 83 divided by 3 equals 27.6 pence per mile. So almost, well over 2.5 times the cost of fueling up the hybrid. So my fuel bill will be going up from about £100 a week to £250 a week. That's £150 a week knocked out of your earnings. It's too much. Fortunately, we get free BP subscription membership, which means on those 150 watt chargers, we get the subscribers rate of 69 pence per kilowatt hour. Divide that by 3 will equal still 23p a kilowatt hour. So I'm still going to more than double my fuel costs. I'm going to lose £120 a week out of my profit purely on fuel. That's a lot of money. So I probably would not use BP even as a subscriber unless I can't get into a Tesla somewhere. So it's a good backup, but it's not going to be my major source. However, as an Uber driver, if you do hit that 300 kilowatt hour a month charging rate, it drops down to 49p a kilowatt hour. So that actually brings it down to a much more affordable level, 49 divided by 3, 16.33 pence per mile if you use BP and you hit that higher rate of mileage as you would do with an Uber. That's an exclusive Uber discount. So it's about 6 pence per mile more than what I'm paying for a hybrid at the moment. So not a vast amount of difference. Still a little bit more than the Tesla, but it does mean I have to spend a lot of money at BP to hit that target. So it's going to be interesting. Am I going to be using BP a lot? I don't know. So the final one that I'm going to be subscribing to is the Ionity network. You can subscribe to the Ionity Passport. That's at about £5.80 a week, or so £5.80 a month or something like that. There's not a great deal of Ionity chargers around. Just to go back to BP, in Newport, there is only two 150 kilowatt chargers in Newport, and they're often filled and often in use. So the ability to charge in Newport is going to be quite slim. I'll only be popping into BP when I'm out and about and I can't find a Tesla, because there's just not enough of them in Newport to meet the demand. And I'm not going to be sitting around for an hour waiting to get onto a pump. Can't. I've got work to do. So that's that one. Ionity has 4 ultra-fast chargers up at the T Mega Hotel. Well, just round the corner from the T Mega Hotel at Mega. So that's just down the road. Not too far, not as close as the Tesla. But they do 350 kilowatt charging. So very fast chargers. Not many around the country. But when you do get on there, they're very, very fast. So let's have a look at the pricing per mile of the Ionity. So as a pay-as-you-go customer, the rate at 350 kilowatt hours is 74 pence per kilowatt hour. So 74 divided by 3 is 24.66 kilowatts. So 24.66 miles pence per mile. So that's going to be 2.5 times my current cost. I'll be moving up from £100 a week to £250 a week in fuel. I'm not going to do that. But you can buy Ionity Passport. That costs $5.49 a month. And that then gives you access to their network. It's not a lot, but they are good, at 56p per kilowatt hour. So a more affordable rate. So let's see, 56 divided by 3 brings it down to 18.66. So much more expensive than the BP. But if I'm at a push and if there's Ionity around, I can use Ionity. And I'm looking at using that if I'm coming back from Bristol Airport on a Friday in particular, and the M4 starts to clog up, which it regularly does, and I don't want to sit in traffic down into Newport, I normally come off at Mega. Now, I will have to come off at Mega and do a rapid charge at the Ionity there. Bit expensive, but far better than being sat in traffic for an hour to get from Mega down to the Celtic Manor. So, swings and roundabouts, pay a little bit extra at the Ionity and get moving and keep working. So those are the 3 networks I will be signing up to and using: Tesla, BP, and Ionity. So let's have a look at some of the expensive ones around where there's no subscription, no discounting available, and looking at some of the prices around Newport and beyond with the big operators such as GridServe, InstaVolt, and in Wales, Dragon. Let's look at their pricing. It's not possible, but it's not possible to make a profit. But let's have a look at them anyway. Okay, so I've just opened up the Zap map and looking around see what's available locally. We've got an InstaVolt charger down at Ballantynes. InstaVolt tends to be the same rate across most of their network. And what they're charging is 85p kilowatt hour at a 50 kilowatt charger. So it's not even one of their superchargers, and I'm charging 85p. So let's look at that on a price per mile basis. 28.3 pence per mile using InstaVolt. That's almost 3 times. That's pushing my fuel costs up from £100 a week to £300 a week. Bang, no profit left. So I have to just totally ignore InstaVolt because I'm out here to earn money, not to give my money away. So let's have a look at somewhere else. Costas InstaVolt, 125. Oh, there's 120 kilowatt hour down at the Costas. Again, 85p kilowatt hour, 28.33 pence per mile. Not viable, unaffordable. So we'll ignore it. Let's see what else we've got. Got Dragon charging just down the road. This is at 50 kilowatt hour, 65p kilowatt hour. So let's look at that. 65 divided by 3, 21.66p a mile. Again, it's going to see my fuel prices double. £100 a week more on fuel. It's not doable in this job. Margins are very tight on taxi work, and that extra £100 a week can be the difference between profit and loss, and it's not viable, so it won't be done. So let's see if we can find a that's another Dragon. See if we can find grid serve Dragon. Dragon controls Wales really. I'm sure there's probably some politician involved in Dragon, which is getting them all of their stuff, which is very expensive for the charger rates. It's very slow charging and very expensive costs. So I will be avoiding Dragon at all costs. So I can find a grid serve. Here's a grid serve down at the Welcome Break. So grid serve 60 kilowatt hour, so quite a slow charger, and I'm charging 79p kilowatt hour. So, you know, I'm going to be sat there for quite a long time charging up at grid serve. That's 26p point. So we're moving up from £100 a week in fuel to £260 a week in fuel. £160 a week more. Not viable, can't be done. So let's have a look if we can find a street charger, one of the low-cost street chargers that I like to call. No, I'll have to filter down because I had a 50 kilowatt filter on, moving down to 7 kilowatt. So here we have a connected curb, which is supposed to be a public overnight charger. 7 kilowatt hour, and you're paying 50p for a 7 kilowatt charge. So overnight charging, 50p a kilowatt hour, substantially more than Tesla. So we'll stick to Tesla, but let's look at that. 50 divided by 3 equals 16.6. So a 60% increase in fuel costs by going for an overnight charger with connected curb. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to park up overnight. It's 20 minutes walk away. I'll just stick with the Tesla, which is cheaper, and I'll be fully charged in about 30 minutes. So, yeah. So that's it. Those are the prices compared. I hope that proves useful to you, but this is for Newport. It may be different in your area. For me, though, it's definitely going to be number one, the Tesla supercharger up at the Celtic Manor. Even though I'm paying $8.99 a month, it's still substantially cheaper than anywhere else in Newport. Then it comes BP with my free Pulse membership, and maybe having to do enough to be able to get that super low discount of 49p kilowatt hour. And then after that, Singularity, purely because of the location at Mega. So that's it. I don't think there's going to be too much of a difference if I can stick with Tesla at 33p off peak. It's going to be very similar in fuel costs by moving from the Ioniq Hybrid up to the Ioniq 5. But there's a lot more cost involved in the Ioniq 5. So we'll go through that in a different video. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope that's sort of given you, if you're not an EV driver, giving you some sort of ideas as to the running costs in fuel of running an EV. Not too different if you got a local Tesla that you can use to running a hybrid car. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care and happy driving.